Community Viewpoint.
And welcome once again to Community Viewpoint. I'm John Pawlak, your host for this segment, and welcome once again to another exciting program. Spring is right around the corner. I'm hoping the winds are dying down, and our guest today is a friend of mine who's I've known for a few years, and he's going to be talking about a subject that I never thought about. I've been out here for 21 years, and we're going to give you a picture and we'll see if you can identify it. If you want to put this up there, can you identify that? Well, the gentleman next to me had to identify that. It's a trap, and this is Vern, who is a freelance writer. You may have seen a lot of his articles in the Plum Valley Times. Sports writer?
Started off with a community and then went into sports.
Oh, that's right, yeah. And then Valley Electric for the Ruralite. Then that was like 3 CEOs ago.
Yeah, really.
Yes. But he's a freelance writer now, and he wrote an article in last Friday last week, the Plum Valley Times, I believe was, or Wednesday?
Correct, yeah, Plum Valley Times.
Yes, about traps for coyotes, or just...
Well, it was a kind of like a service announcement, public service announcement.
And why did you pick that subject?
Because I've been here for over 10 years now in Pahrump Valley, and I was one of the guys that you would see out in the desert walking his dog, and a lot of times I thought it was perfectly safe. One time I'd let my dog run loose off a leash, which I've since found is illegal, so I try not to do that anymore. But I was out there one day doing this, and coming back from my walk, I heard this howl. My dog was like howling like a mad dog. So I run over to see what was wrong. Usually I just put up the tailgate and he jumps in, and he wasn't going to do this now because he was stuck in a trap. And I go, what in the world? What is this doing so close to the trail? And I was really angry, and I said, well, this trapper is doing something illegal. He can't be this close to the trail and be legal. And so I took the trap. And the next day I found out from NDOW that this was illegal. Nevada Department of Wildlife came to my house. Apparently the trapper had seen my truck while I was walking the dog and taken down my license plate. And I wasn't going to lie to the NDOW officer. I told him, yeah, I took the trap. And I gave it back to the NDOW, and he said, this is a gross misdemeanor to take a trap. And I guess it's an ongoing case submitted to the district attorney, and so I can't really talk about that because I really don't know what's going on about it. I haven't heard back from him.
No, and this is phenomenal because I live a block away from BLM land on Game Bird, and going to work, driving back and forth. I constantly see people in their vehicles and in their pickup trucks with the dog in the back.
Right.
They go out on the BLM land. As soon as they hit the dirt, the dog's out there running.
Right.
And I thought nothing of it all these years. Another issue is I have a lot of friends that are on Clean Up Pahrump, and they go out into the BLM land because we have a lot of our fellow Pahrumpians that have a tendency, rather than going to the landfill, they take their trash, their garbage, and throw it out behind the mesquite stands out there where it can't be seen, or supposedly. But I have a lot of friends that go out there and they do cleanups, and they could come across these traps. And I myself, in the years past, have planted mesquite with the BLM also, and I knew nothing of these traps. Now there's supposed to be a warning poster or something near the traps too?
Oh, not even. The trappers are legally trapping near these roads, and how they get away with that is because they're doing it on a road that is not county maintained or not state maintained. and that's perfectly legal. Off the trail, what they like to do is put their traps near a trail so they can just get out of their truck, check the trap, and get back into the truck.
Right.
And so it's perfectly legal. And I'm not doing this because I'm against trapping. I'm just doing this to let people know that they are out there. And when you're going to see them is during the winter time.
Right.
Wintertime is big trapping season. That's when the fur is thickest. And for coyotes around here, they could trap all year long legally.
Yeah.
But they're probably not going to do that because the fur is not so great in the summer and springtime.
Let's show the other picture of the trail, or the
Yeah, you can see the
in
trail
back, yeah.
right there in the background. It's there,
And
and it's real close.
The group, I was in a thicket, like in the forefront, where homeless would be staying, and then they would leave all their garbage and stuff, and we'd go out there and pick up after them. There might have been a trap out there.
There could be, and sometimes I'm learning by talking to some trappers and former trappers is that they would mark their traps with a ribbon. And I used to think that a lot of ribbons that I'd see on the trails were from marking of trails for events like motorcycle races, off-road motorcycle races, and events like that.
I've seen ribbons from
Yeah,
them.
and that I hear they're from trappers to mark where their traps are so they know where they are.
Oh, interesting.
But one thing that we touched upon is the coyotes not going away, and like I was saying before the show, they're throughout every 50 United States, expanding in Canada, and now for the first time could be going to South America. So this animal has adapted, whether we like it or not. It's here to stay, and trapping I found is the only way they can control them in this area. I've seen the coyote jump onto walls in Artesia that are 6 foot high. They've been known to eat our pets, mostly dogs, because they see
All dogs.
they see dogs as competition.
Yeah.
There's no longer an apex predator that controls these animals.
Well, we have an electrified fence now, and also they could spook the horses too. Horses get spooked at basically anything too, so we worry about that. Not that it's going to eat a horse or anything, but they're easily spooked. And we have coyotes 2 blocks away from where we live. There's a lair or whatever you call it. And there's open property between us and the next neighbor, and like 3 or 4 acres, and they walk through there during different times during the daytime. So we're not going to have traps out there. We're not going to be shooting them or anything. So what do you do?
Well, the first thing, don't get mad if your animal gets stuck in a leg hole trap. It does hurt the animal. Your dog will get hurt, especially the smaller dogs.
Yeah.
But you are allowed to release the animal, of course. But whatever you do, don't take the trap. I mean, it's the trapper's responsibility to know that you got trapped in it. They got a tag on it, has his name on there. You can try to get in contact, but call NDOW if you have a problem with the trap being there. Otherwise, just leave the trap alone. I learned from experience, leave it alone,
Yeah.
and you should be fine.
So if nothing else, this is a public service announcement, because most of us have not come across anything like this. Like Lenny, a lot of people come out here. They've never had. They've always had flush toilets with running water and sewer.
Mm-hmm.
Over here, you have a septic tank. You don't know anything about that. You have to be trained about what not to
Right.
throw down your sewer. Same thing with the animals too. We have to adapt to the area where we are. This is not Chicago. This is not New York or LA. This is the rural areas.
And you will be seeing traps here, especially during wintertime. So it's something to be aware of while you're hiking.
Yes. So your article, like you said, all throughout the United States, Canada, and down to South America too, possibly.
They've been seen as far south as Panama.
Okay. Oh, one thing, you cannot trap in Ash Meadows Wildlife Refuge, because people like to go there and run their dogs. And I had a friend of mine, and she got in trouble for running her dog at Ash Meadows also, National Wildlife Refuge. All portions of the Great Basin National Park, all portions of Clark, Lincoln, and Nye counties within the boundaries of Nellis Air Force Range, Nevada Test and Training Range, and Desert Wildlife Refuge. You're not going to go at the test range anyway. But your article also had
So a link.
you can go to link to the end now. I'm sorry,
Right.
we didn't have it on the screen here. But if you refer to the Pahrump Valley Times article, you have, that's, what is that?
It's they
The
have
regulations?
They have a link to the regulations for trapping, and also they have a guide that they put out for small game, and it tells you specifically where trapping is allowed. Just like you've mentioned, a few of the areas around here that it's not allowed, but they will list all those areas too in their guide to small game.
So I don't know if it was your article or the NRS that I read. It's 200 feet from a road.
A county maintained road or a state maintained road.
So folks figure that a football field is 300 feet. So just figure the distance of 200 feet. After that, it's no man's land, so to speak. You can find traps out there. Hopefully they're not any closer than that.
Yeah, so if you're like hiking in Wheeler Pass is a state and county maintained road. So you could legally find traps 200 feet away from that road.
Okay.
So, and how they define a state or county maintained road is whether or not it's been bladed. I believe it's bladed within the last year.
Okay.
And we know Wheeler Pass is always getting bladed, so
Yes.
qualifies.
It's always dust going up and down Wheeler Pass too.
Right,
Yes.
right.
So I want to thank you for taking this time to stop by here and give us this valuable information on the traps. And 200 feet from a county-maintained road, it could be any time during the year for coyotes. The traps could be out there. And if your animal gets stuck in it, release the animal. But don't take the trap.
Don't get mad. Don't get angry. Don't take your aggression out on the trap.
No. So hopefully we'll see some more of your writing in the near future, since you're a freelance writer, and I miss you on the Pahrump Valley Times and the Ruralite. So, and once again, thank you for stopping by here. And any last word before we leave?
No, thank you for having me here. It was my pleasure to come by.
All right. So maybe we'll have some more good tips like that. Hopefully not about traps. So thank you very much. Thank you, Vern, and we'll see you next week.